quite interesting to go back and listen to the way this guy talks, how everything that comes out of his mouth is wrong. Every little inch, but he just keeps going. He just keeps going.
We have before us the opportunity to forge
Nobody
for
ever
ourselves
corrected.
and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Yeah. I like the rule of the jungle. Hang on. I love the rule of the jungle. This guy makes no sense. Hold the line. I'm not sure if the good guys or the white hats really are white hats. I heard that they could be just tall white aliens. Because this Gesera thing was planned a long time ago with Gore and the Omegans. This is what Sherry Shriner said. I didn't invent this. But give me a break. So they're saying that the military is the only way, but tell us, are these military going to be United Nations military? Because everybody's going to notice. Everybody is going to notice. They have not gone away. And there's something I like about that. Alright, the law of the jungle is far superior to anything that your thin little lips and your dry mouth can come up with. Now, let me go to the stories of the mother goddess of a Chinese mythology. Now, I need you to see this because it's very interesting. Because it's quite the serpent, isn't it? And I've noticed that about the, a lot. Look at that. Look at this. Now, I heard from Tex Mars that they worship Leviathan. And then remember, I'm not saying they, the Chinese necessarily. I'm saying whoever's behind this New World Order sees them as such. And they might be the oldest race on Earth and so on. But you see, they're very close to nature. This doesn't make sense. I mean, it kind of does, because remember that Ouroboros where it says the snake eats its own tail? Now, what bothers me about that is ever since this guy in 1991 called in this new world order, that came along with what do you call it? That came along with, there's no more supply and demand, okay? There's absolutely no more customer. I heard our good friend just say the word customer, and I'd like to beg to differ that there's no such thing as a customer anymore. You're just a psychically driven person. You've been driven into thinking, being told what you want. You're being told what to do. You're being told who you are. We're not supply and demand, because if it was supply and demand, the whole world would have been in an outrage about the trucking thing, and they've gotten away with just making people be too nice. This is a brutal world we live in. Nature is brutal. That's why humanity has got to have a much higher, I shouldn't say high, let's just say a much lower aim a much more valuable, much more elegant aim. And what happened is when the snake eats its own tail, what's happened with the supply and demand economy, which is absolutely gone because it's replaced with the pyramid. It's replaced with a pyramid scheme. And when you have a pyramid scheme, all it takes is 7 people to start it, and they invest nothing. They've invested nothing into this thing. And but they get the payout, and the rest of us are the fucking plebs at the bottom. And meanwhile, when the pyramid fails, as they do, it just kind of decomposes and everything kind of gets into, everything is just run like a bunch of Amways and Mary Kays after that. But they're just scrambling. What we need is supply and demand to come back. The laissez-faire economy, or the laissez-faire world of freedom, which encourages the real so-called competition. This guy doesn't know the meaning of the word. Okay, for him, when he says the word competition, it means like the competition of who can bribe and lobby the most money and win that way. You see, everybody is too friggin' nice. But I'm going to tell you something. The East, I love Kipling's poem, "For it is not good for the Christian's health to hustle the Aryan brown, for the Christian riles and the Aryan smiles, and he weareth the Christian down. At the end of the fight is a tombstone white, and on the name, the epitaph drear, a fool lies here who tried to hustle the East," something like that. If you can understand my point, we don't live in a world where we're getting anything we want. We do not want anything, and we have hit so many dead ends that everybody has lost hope. We have no hope. Not only that, but the will is gone. Everything is gone. So whoever's going to take this thing over, I don't mean to be pessimistic, but I like Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer figured it out. He put together human nature, and as long as people can't handle the truth, they can't handle being a little more probing to men like this, as long as people are scared of, because their own friends say, "Oh, don't hit him, stand down, so you can't defend yourself anymore because they got the bullets, they got the weapons. It's the snake eating its own tail, and these guys are the head, and here's your tail. There's the tail, that's whose labor, that's what they're eating, and they know that they have stopped the supply and demand world, meaning people are not supplying what people demand. It's all bullshit. Take a look at the television commercials and you'll know there's something wrong here. They've made their money and they don't care. It's time for them to go to their hiding places. So here's the head of the snake, and there's the tail, and it's eating its own tail. And that's about it. So we'll see what happens.